Hey guys, this is just a quick review of the unit review. I won't be giving you the actual answers to the problems, but I am going to be showing you the steps that you need to take in order to solve them to be successful. Okay, so we are going to start with number one, which we are using the substitution method. So it gives us an expression f minus 2gh when f equals 4.5, g equals 2.1, and h equals 1.8. So we have our given values. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute them in. The first thing, though, we have to notice is that this 2gh is squished together. And when those numbers are squished together like that, it means that they're being multiplied. So a way that we can show multiplication when we are substituting is by using parentheses. So I'm going to start by wherever I see an f, I'll put that value, which is 4.5, minus 2. That's being multiplied times g, which is 2.1. And then that's also multiplied by h, which is 1.8. Okay, so that's how we'll start off with the problem. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to follow the order of operations, or what I like to call the oops, right? And that's GEMDAS. Any groupings, multiplication. So we're really just going to be doing multiplication first and then subtraction last. So we'll do multiplication starting from left to right. And then whatever product we get here, we'll multiply here. All of this will be subtracted from 4.5, and then you'll have your solution. Okay. Now looking at number 2, it says Lupe drives from Dallas to Anchorage with a total trip. So total, that's what she has the entire journey. Okay. She drives 348 miles to Wichita. So that's just a part of it. For the rest of the trip, she's going to drive 394 miles each day. Okay, that each day is important. So we can separate it into each day. How many days does Lupe drive from Wichita to Anchorage? Okay, so we're doing like a little bit, we're chunking some of it off, and then we have to divide to see how many more days it'll take. Okay, so complete the steps to solve the problem, write your answers in the blank. So the first step that we need to know is we need to see her total trip minus that little chunk to Wichita. So we're going to do her total minus the total from Wichita, which is 348. And then we'll have this answer here, this difference. Okay. When we get that, we're going to use that answer. So I'm going to highlight it here. This answer will go here. We need to find the remaining miles and divide that by 394 because we know for each day she goes 394. So if I divide this number, I will have my answer of how many days she spent driving. Okay. Now, number 3, it says Miss Guzman orders 6,370 marbles. Each package contains 182 marbles. The keyword here is each. That's telling us that we're going to need to do division. How many packages does Miss Guzman order? Record your answer on the grid, then fill in the bubbles. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to take the total amount of. Actually, let's see here. I'm going to put in a little grid paper for myself here since I'm doing some long division. Okay. And we are going to do our total, which is 6,370 divided by 182. Okay. I'm going to divide this out, and whatever I get for my quotient, I'm going to fill in my bubbles. So for example, if I got 74, which is not the answer, we would put in 74, and then we would bubble in 74. Okay, so that's what you're doing for that one. Obviously, the answer is not 74. Okay, that's what you're doing for that problem. Number 4, a lot of you thought you needed to find the answer. It's not asking you how much bird seed he's going to use. It's asking you what step he would do next. So it says Carson fills each bird feeder with 3/4 pound of bird seed. He has 12 pounds of bird seed. Carson says that to find how many bird feeders he can fill, he first finds how many 1/4 pounds there are in 12 pounds. What else does Carson need to do to fill and to find how many bird feeders he can fill? So for this one, I'm going to move this so we can do this. We are actually going to start with a number line or a tape diagram. I'm going to start with a number line. Okay, so this is 12, halfway is 6. Okay, and then we'll do, so we'll do 1, 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm terrible at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, half. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy moly, that was intense. Okay, so here's 1 hole, 2, 3, 4, 5 hole, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so those are all whole numbers. What we need to do is it says that he first finds out how many 1/4 there are in 12 pounds. So that means for each 1 whole, so for each one of these, I'm going to put fourths. So with that one, I'm actually going to color these blue. 1, 2, 3, and then the whole number denotes a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we'll do that. There is a numerical way to do this, but this problem is geared more towards modeling your thinking and showing how much you can do with a model. This is showing why we divide fractions a certain way. Okay, so it says that's his first step. Now, the question is not asking how many things of birdseed can he do, but what is the next step that he needs to do to find out? So I've already put this all in fourths. The next thing that I know is that his feeder thingy, oh goodness, guys, can hold 3/4 of a pound of birdseed. So what I need to do is I actually need to count by 3/4. So here's 1. So there's 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I am doing terribly at this. So another 3. So we can count 1, 2, 3. So there's 1, 2, and then so forth. So we'll count 1. Oh, you guys. 1. My tools aren't working here. I'm trying to do this one. So then I start here. 1, 2, 3. So we'll make another group there. Okay. Then we'll start here. 1, 2, 3. So really what he's doing is he's dividing by 3/4, right? So here's another one and another one. So the next step that we're doing here is in the purple. We are going to divide our fourths into thirds to figure out how many of those he can actually get. Okay, so we're not looking to find an answer. We're looking to show how you would get to the answer. Okay. All right. Now we're going to be looking at number 5. This gave quite a few of you some trouble, and I don't blame you. This one is a toughie. Okay, so we kind of went over this in class a little bit in talking about why we would solve it the way that we would. Well, the way that I'm thinking about this problem is it says, well, first let's read it. It takes 126 cubes. So there's going to be tiny little cubes. Okay, there's going to be tiny little cubes. There's going to be 126 of those covering the entire bin, right? And it has an edge length of 1/3. So if I were to take this out and look at it, its edge length would be 1/3. So each one of these sides would be worth 1/3. Okay. And then maybe over here, we'll do 1/3. Okay. Because we're looking at the volume, we're looking at the length times the width times the height. And because this is feet, it's going to be feet times feet times feet. That means when I'm multiplying a foot 3 times, I'm actually cubing it, right, as an exponent. So it would be feet cubed. Okay, so that's why I'm looking at using 1/3. Okay, so what we need to do with all the information that we have on this problem is we know we have the height and we have how many cubes it's going to take to fill it up. So what I can do, I'm going to erase this here, is I can find the volume of the shape, the volume of this whole shape, and then I can use what I know, the volume and the height, to figure out the base. Now it says the area of the base. If we were to think about volume, there are two formulas that we can use. We can use length times width times height, or we can use volume equals base times height. Now this big B represents the area of the length times the width. Okay, so this actually means B. So if we can find B, we are actually finding the area of the base because it's the same as length times width. Okay, so we're going to start off by using what we know. Okay, I know that there are 126 cubes in there, and then I also know that they are being multiplied by the sides of the cube. So I know each side of the cube, each dimension is 1/3. There's going to be the length, the width, and the height. That's why I'm cubing it. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is 1/3 cubed is the same as 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. Okay. I know that 1 times 1 times 1 is going to be 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to say this is 126 over 1, because that's how we do a whole number, times 1 over 27. When I'm multiplying a fraction, I'm just multiplying the numerators and the denominators straight across. So we come out with 126 over 27. Okay, we can keep this as a improper fraction, or we can make it into a mixed number. The way that I can do that is I can count by 27s to get close to 126 and find out what I have remaining. Or I can do a long division problem, which I'll do over here. I'm actually going to cover this real quick just to show you. So we have 126 divided by 27. Now 27, I'm going to think is close to, I'm going to estimate, is close to 25. 25 like a quarter. So if I were going to get to 125, like $1.25, I would need 4 quarters to make $1 and 1 more to make 125. But that estimation of 5 isn't going to work because I have 27. So I'm actually going to try 4. So let's do 27 times 4. Okay, so 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 2 is 10. So I have 108, which is pretty close. So we'll do 4, and then we have 108. Okay, I'm going to find the difference here. Okay, 16 minus 8 is 8. And then we have 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay, so when I'm making a mixed number using long division, my quotient is my whole number. Okay, my remainder is my numerator. And my divisor is my denominator. Okay, so 18/27 can be reduced. 9 can go into both of those numbers. 9 can go in twice into 18 and 3 times into 27. So it's actually 4 2/3. Okay, so over here, we know the volume of that whole entire shape is 4 2/3. Okay, so now I have enough information. I'm going to take this guy off real quick. Okay, so we know the volume is 4 2/3. Okay, so now we have 2 pieces of information. Now we can find the last piece of information. Okay, so this is our second part. We're going to use the formula volume equals big B, base, which is length times width, times the height. Okay, and we know our volume, which is 4 2/3, equals base, we don't know that, times our height, which is 2 1/3. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to get this 2 1/3 away from the b because it's being multiplied. So I'm going to do its opposite, which is division. So really base is the same thing as 4 2/3 divided by 2 1/3. So what I need to do here now is I need to make these improper fractions. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 2 is 14. So 14/3 divided by 2 1/3. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7, 7/3. And then if you guys know, we're going to multiply by its reciprocal to divide two fractions, and you will get your answer. Okay. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, what is 4 2/5 divided by 1 1/10? Well, because we have two mixed numbers here, what we're going to need to do is make these improper. Sorry, I'm squiggling around here. So let's do, this one will be in red, and this one will be in blue. Okay, so we're going to do 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is 22 over 5 divided by 10 times 1 is 10 plus 1 is 11, so 11/10. But because, sorry, let's fix that. But because we're doing a division problem, we're actually going to multiply by its reciprocal. So we're going to make that a reciprocal. So we'll do 22/5. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, guys, now I put here the next step, which is our reciprocal, and then you just need to solve these and find your answer choice. Number 7 says Bilal has 5 cups of strawberries. He uses 2 1/6 cup to make smoothies. He uses the rest of the strawberries to make fruit cups. He needs 2/3 of strawberries for each fruit cup. How many fruit cups can he make? Show your work. So we need to start off with how much does he have altogether? I know he has 5 cups. And then he's going to take some out to use smoothies. So I'm going to subtract 2 1/6. Okay, 2 1/6 cup. Okay, then we'll get our answer here. Okay, I'm actually going to highlight that one red. Okay, so once I do that subtraction, I have that answer. Then it says he uses the rest of the strawberries to make fruit cups. So the rest of the strawberries is what you got in that red box. That's the answer you're putting here. And you're going to make fruit cups, so that means you're dividing by 2/3 because you're sorting that amount out into 2/3 cups of strawberries. Okay, so then you're just figuring that out to get your solution.